Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at part 2 of Atlantis, the Lost Continent. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with special editions on Thursday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along. Mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. What did the ancients believe about Atlantis? Did any other historians other than Plato write about Atlantis? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at whether Atlantis was a fictional or metaphorical myth or in fact a once mighty empire. Let's begin with Plato's most renowned student, Aristotle. What did this veritable giant of antiquity believe about Atlantis? Put simply, Aristotle makes claim that Plato invented the island empire to teach philosophy. The philosopher Crantor, who was a student of Xenocrates, who in turn was a student of Plato, is often cited as an author who believed in the existence of Atlantis. Unfortunately, Crantor's commentary on Timaeus is lost. However, Proclus, a Neoplatonist of the 5th century of the Common Era, reported on Crantor's work. He wrote that Crantor arrived at his conclusions by visiting Egypt, had conversations with priests, and saw hieroglyphs confirming the story. However, other writers of the day claimed that Crantor made no such visit to Egypt. Crantor's writings were based on hearsay. He learned about Atlantis from other visitors to Egypt who shared with him the tale. What about his mentor Xenocrates? It's not clear as to what he believed. Xenocrates was more concerned with ethics, mathematics, and perceived the tale of Atlantis as an allegory and one of the ways Plato would illustrate his lectures. What of other ancient historians and philosophers? Who believed in the existence of Atlantis? Both Strabo and Posidonius accepted the tale as fact. They believed that before the 6th century before the Common Era, the Pillars of Heracles may have applied to the mountains on either side of the Gulf of Laconia. They also contend that the tale actually comes from pillar cult of the Aegean. The mountains stood on either side of the southernmost gulf in Greece. The largest is in the Peloponnese and opens onto the Mediterranean Sea. This would have placed Atlantis in the Mediterranean Sea, thereby lending credence to many details in Plato's discussion. The 4th century historian Ammianus Marcellinus, relying on a lost work by Timagenes, a historian of the 1st century before the Common Era, writes that the Druids of Gaul made claim that some of their inhabitants had migrated from distant islands. Some have understood Ammianus' testimony as claiming that at that time Atlantis was sinking into the sea and its people fled to Western Europe. However, what in fact Ammianus states is that the Dracididae, the Druids as we refer to them, recall that part of their population is indigenous, while others migrated from the islands and lands beyond the Rhine. This makes it quite clear that these immigrants came to Gaul from the north, which is clear that Britain, the Netherlands, and Germany, not Atlantis, is from where these people migrated. During the 1st century, the Hellenistic Jewish philosopher Philo wrote on the subject of Atlantis. He used the works of Theophrastus to confirm his belief in Atlantis and its destruction. Many early Christian writers also wrote about Atlantis. They had mixed views, especially since they believed the tale to be an untrustworthy myth of pagan origin. Such writers like the Christian apologist Arnobius believed that Atlantis once existed but blamed its destruction on pagans. Tertullian was another author who supported the existence of Atlantis and stressed that the land size and description given by Plato to be accurate. However, he did not know exactly where the fabled land once stood, since it had fallen into the sea. It seems that throughout the ages, everyone has had an opinion of the existence of Atlantis. Cosmas, in his attempt to prove that the world was flat and surrounded by water, used Atlantis to prove his theory. It is quite evident that Atlantis has been the subject of great debate throughout the ages. In part 3 of Atlantis, the Lost Continent, we will take a look at what contemporary authors have to say on the fabled last continent. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a channel sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue producing quality videos, and buying me a coffee always makes my day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.